We're up to page 485, 8.8, multiple events. Now when you look at multiple events, that is when if there's two independent events that occur, then the outcomes can be listed on a table. Now we will recognize independent events when they say this is done and this happens. Like a coin is thrown and a die has done. This will show us that we have multiple events or two independent events. The probability is still given by the probability of the event is the number of outcomes where the event occurs divided by the total number of possible outcomes. Again, just a formula. As soon as you look at the examples, it will make more sense. Example 12. Using the table for multiple events, a spinner with the number 1, 2 and 3 is spun, and then a card is chosen. So this and over here will tell us that we have a multiple event. Is random from the letters A, T, H, S. Draw a table to list the sample space of this experiment. So with these, the table are very important, and here we go. So I've done my table. There is a spinner, so I'm going to have to spin it down. It doesn't matter which order it can be. So there could have been 4 columns, card, doesn't matter which one is which. So for the spinner, I could get a 1. Just use a color you can actually see. We can have a 1, a 2, or a 3. And then for the card, I can have an A, a T, a H, and an S. So if I throw a 1 with the dice, I can then get an A. I can have a 1 and a T, a 1 and an H, a 1 and an S. I can have a 2 and an A, a 2 and a T, 2H, 2S, 3A, a 3 and a T, a 3 and an H, a 3 and an S. So this is then my sample space. My sample space will be everything that is in here. So we can see there's 1, 2, 3 by 4. So there's 12 different outcomes. So draw a table. Number B. How many outcomes does the experiment have? This was A. This was B. There's 12 outcomes. 12 outcomes. Question number C. Find the probability of the combination 2S. Now 2S only occur at one spot, and that spot is right over here. So there's only one 2S that I can get. 2S is over here, which means the chance of getting 2S is 1 in a possible 12. Indeed, they ask us to find the probability of an odd number being spun and the letter H being chosen. Now to get that, all the odd numbers, so if I say this is all the odd numbers, A, 1 and 3, and H, so which means and this. So where they overlap, that is where it's 1 and, so we will be looking at this value and this value. So you see there's 2 possible ways. So I'm going to say the probability of having odd and H. Always write the event down here. Always write the event down here so you know what we're talking about. And now we're going to say it's 1. There's 2 out of 12. And always simplify to 1 and 6. So the probability of finding an odd and an H is 1 and 6. Please go and do exercise 8H according to your timeline. Thank you.